We're live. All right. How is everybody? I think last time I did one of these, I still had my COVID hair, which hadn't had a haircut since February. So it's still me, just shorter hair, that's all. It's worth saying, I think, that one of the things that gets my stomach acid flowing more than anything else in the world is being on video, especially live video. So just worth noting, I guess. Yeah, we're here. We're going to talk about the numbers in Jefferson County for real estate, and also hoping to have a discussion about the larger economy and kind of what's going on in the economy. It seems like we're getting some really mixed signals about what's going on in the economy, and so if any of you guys have any comments, questions, feelings, concerns about the economy or about real estate, drop it in the comments, and yeah, let's talk about it. So yeah, like I said, we're getting some really mixed signals about what's going on in the economy. Stock market is at record highs, I think, or close to record highs, or it's very high. Yet unemployment is really low, and real estate is at record highs and record low inventory, and yet small businesses are kind of large, medium businesses are kind of going out of business left and right, it seems like. So the reason I bring this up is a question I get from people a lot is, well, where do you think the real estate market is going next year? And my answer, if you've ever worked with me, used us to buy a house, and we've had a conversation, at some point it's probably come up, and my line is usually the same, which is that I don't have a crystal ball. If I knew what was going to happen in the real estate market in 2021, gosh, I probably wouldn't have to be selling real estate. And I think the most respected economists in the world really don't have a clear idea of where things are going, just because we're getting, again, just mixed signals. The economy is going all different directions. We're in unprecedented times. So yeah, I'd love to know where you guys think it's going. If you want to drop something in the comments, especially if you're in another part of the country, or even another part of Alabama, or in another country altogether. I'd love to know how things are in your market. What's going on in your market, and where you think things are going. Yeah. So okay, the numbers. So interestingly, I'm not going to rattle off this number of houses on the market, this number of houses under contract, all that kind of stuff, because essentially it's the same. I mean, nothing has really changed since last time. And inventory is exactly the same as where it was last time, down to 2 decimal points. So we have 1.62 months of inventory on the market, which means, and we've talked about this in the past, basically it would take 1.5 months to sell, in theory, every house on the market, which is incredibly low. A balanced market is 4 to 6 months of inventory, which means that reasonable buyers are making reasonable offers and reasonable sellers are accepting reasonable offers. 1.6 months of inventory, solidly in a seller's market right now, and really no signs of that really changing really soon. So it's really interesting with the election coming up in a week and a half, and just not really seeing it affect things all that much. So inventory is just so low. One interesting trend I've seen recently over the last 6 months or so is 2 doors down for me. There's a house that's been in just terribly derelict condition, roof falling in and everything. And finally, it looks like someone's coming. They're going to scrape that down to the dirt, and they're going to build a house from the ground up. And this is in Crestwood. And also in Crestwood, kind of on the edge of the neighborhood on 60th Street, they just completed building a $400,000, I think it's $399,900, $400,000 house, which is not only, I won't say it's a record price for Crestwood, that's a really high price for Crestwood, but for 60th Street, I mean, nothing's ever sold for that price on 60th Street. So really interesting trends. At the top of 60th Street, also 2 proposed construction that are also right around 400,000. And at the other end of 60th Street, just heard rumor of a house that's going to be coming down and a new one being built. And I assume it's going to be in the same probably realm of $400,000. So not only interesting to see that happening at that price, but to see it in that part of the neighborhood where Ali Volka lives, which, Ali Volka lives there. It's like the edge of the universe. So yeah, it's really interesting times. This has been going on for a while in Avondale on Fifth Avenue. They've been tearing down some really old, dilapidated houses and building houses north of $500,000 on Fifth Avenue, which is an incredibly busy street. If you're sitting in your front porch, you're watching cars zip by all day, and it just seems like it's a function of the inventory that we're facing right now, and that people are finding creative ways to solve that inventory problem with kind of these one-off builds, and sort of a trend that we've seen in definitely Homewood for the last 10 years, where the older houses are coming down and these new big houses are going up, and certainly something we've seen in Mountain Brook in the past, where people would just buy a house to have the lot, and then the house comes down, they build the house of their dreams. So just really interesting trend that I've noticed lately. And that's kind of led to conversations with some people about, is now a good time to buy? You're talking about like $400,000 houses in Crestwood, $500,000 houses in Avondale. These aren't houses for like every buyer. Obviously, the highest prices we've really kind of seen in these areas, and is now a good time to buy? Well, I guess you can kind of argue both ways. But my argument would be that interest rates are so incredibly low right now. We just had a colleague of ours close some clients of his at 2.375, I believe it was, for 30 years. A few weeks before that, we had some clients of ours where we closed at 2.5%. And when we closed that one at 2.5%, we thought, gosh, we had never seen rates that low. Lenders were telling us their rate sheets didn't go that low. And now last week we see 2.375%. We're currently locked in to refinance our house at 2.25%. So yeah, these are rates. I mean, we've been saying this for years, and I'll say it again, that I don't think we'll ever see rates this low again. When they do go up, I mean, I can't imagine we're ever going to see them come down this low again. But back to that crystal ball thing. I don't have a crystal ball. Who knows? It could be another 10 years before they go up. But they're low now, and it's hard to believe they would go any lower. So yeah, in terms of that, it's a great time to buy. Now, if you're talking about buying, you also have to talk about time horizon and how long are you buying for. If you're talking about buying a house, like, hey, I'm going to buy a house for 2 to 3 years and turn it over and move, I'd pump the brakes there for a minute and think about it. I think that's a very risky thing to do right now. A very short time horizon is always risky in real estate, and I think at the point we're at now, where we've been on a great trajectory in real estate for a long time, and we certainly know we're at I can't say we're at the top, but we are at the highest point price wise and one of the lowest points inventory wise we've ever seen. So yeah, to buy on that short time horizon, I think is a risky move. Now, if you're talking about buying like your 10-year home, your 20-year home, your forever home, I think real estate is a cyclical, business, and their prices are going to drop at some point, and they should come back up at some point. It's always done that. Again, back to the crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball, but historically, if you look at it, it tends to just rise steadily, and it has its ups and downs, but over time it's going to appreciate. So yeah, I'd say if you're buying for the medium to long term at these rates, great time to buy. If you're talking about 2 to 3 year short term horizon, that's a different kind of risk. I'm not talking about house flipping, where you buy, someone's going to buy a house and they're going to renovate it and get it back on the market in a few months. That's a whole different business. But that short-term horizon, like maybe 1 to 4 years, that's a risky time horizon right now. So if you guys have any questions at all, please just drop them in the comments. If there's actually people out there watching this, and again, if you're in another part of the country or like another part of the world or Alabama, I'd love to know what's going on in y'all's market right now. It's my WBHM glass. Sorry, it's Lucy's WBHM glass. Um, so if it's a great time to buy, and again, we kind of talk about this each time. What about selling? Is it a good time to sell? Well, I think everything I just said kind of backs up that it's a good time to sell as well. Record inventory, record low inventory, where people are literally fighting over houses. Sellers have the opportunity to really hold the reins on the negotiations in terms of just closing date. Like, when do you want to move out? Like, days in between closing and when you actually have to hand the keys over. What they're going to leave behind, what repairs they're going to do. And I think it's kind of all in the seller's hands right now. Sellers really kind of hold a lot of the cards. So yeah, in terms of that, prices, basically all-time highs. So yeah, it's a great time to sell. And if we look back over, I didn't go too far back, but from 2019 to 2020, we're up 6%. From 2018 to 2019, we were up 7%. From 2017 to 2018, it was up 4%. From 16 to 17, it was up 5%. And it kind of continues like that all the way back to when we came out of the last recession. So yeah, prices have been coming up for essentially the last 8 to 10 years. And yeah, it's a great time to sell. And that sort of just naturally begs the question, I think, that if it's such a great time to sell, then why aren't there more houses on the market? And that's a great question. And I get that from a lot of people too. Like, if it's such a great time to sell, why isn't everybody else selling their house? Well, there's lots of reasons for that, and I'm going to talk about 3 real quick. One is what I call the chicken or the egg conversation, which is, okay, it's essentially, where am I going to go if I sell my house? And I have this choice of, I could sell my house and then hope to find the house that I want, and hope to time it well enough where I don't have to move twice, ideally, but that can be difficult as well. Or I can go buy my next house and then sell my house, and that comes with its own risks. And either way you go, it has certain risks and certain rewards to it, and it's just a discussion that everybody's got to internalize, and we, of course, are there to help you through that discussion and help you, make that decision, like what's the best course for you to take. The other reason is people are staying in their houses longer. So it's been a trend since the last recession is that less people are moving as frequently. So the average person right now is staying in their house about 10 years. And I don't have all the stats on that, but that's sort of a new record as well. People just stay longer, and that kind of exacerbates the inventory problem. Yeah, that's did I give 3 reasons? I think chicken or the egg. I thought I had 3 reasons. Anyway, those are my 2 reasons. So there you go. That's about really what I've got for today. So if you guys have any questions about buying, selling, numbers in your neighborhood, anything we can answer for you, drop it in the comments like everybody else is doing, or send us a direct message, email us, smoke signal, whatever. Just let us know. We're happy to help. We're here for you. As a side note, with my WBHM water here, we're making coconut shrimp for dinner tonight, which I'm very excited about. However, I tagged Lucy in this, and I probably need to let her know that I've eaten almost all the cashews while I was getting ready to go live because, nervousness and cashews. So, Lucy, we may need more cashews to make dinner. So, anyway, yeah, that's all about all I've got for today, and I don't see any questions in the comments right now, so make sure you get those to me, and thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and look forward to talking to y'all soon and seeing y'all around. Stay safe, mask up, don't forget to vote. See ya.